Alright, so this is my attempt at maintaining a Daphnia population for feeding to my freshwater fish. So what I've done here is I set this tank up. It's out of the way in an upstairs bedroom that we don't really use. And I put a little goldfish in it, let the water sit for about a month with this, sort of jerry-rigged pair of LED lights shining into the 10-gallon aquarium pretty much continuously, all the time. It's on a timer, but it's running for about, I'd say about 20 hours a day. They get about, the water got about 4 hours a day to relax. Plus the window's open, and all throughout the afternoon the sun comes in and shines on the light on the 10-gallon tank. The idea is to create what's called green water. It's just a real heavy algae population. It looks terrible, but the water is actually perfect. It's just where you want it. So that green water, that is just suspended algae. And so then I ordered, once the water is nice and green, it looks great. I ordered a culture of 500 Daphnia Magna, or Magna, however you say it. I ordered it from this guy in Montana, I believe. The first batch that I ordered froze on the way here, and they were all dead. The second batch lived. They survived. And so we can kind of get in here where the light's not creating a problem. You can see that they are thriving. There are way more than 500 already. I mean, they, I guess the population's supposed to double about once a week, maybe more than that. I've heard people say that once the population's fully established, you want to remove about 1/4 of them every 3 days. So that tells you how fast they procreate. But anyway, if I can get kind of close in here, you can see what they are. They're just little, not really microscopic organisms. They're maybe a millimeter long. They have little wings on them, and they just sort of float about. I don't really know what their purpose in nature is to be food. That's pretty much what they do. So these little things are very nutritious for all types of fish, but of course, in particular, freshwater tropical fish. And so what I'll do once, here in about a month, I'll probably give it that long, once the population here is fully established, I will start removing little batches of the Daphnia and feeding it to my fish that are downstairs. You literally just pull them right out of the population here, the 10-gallon tank, and put them directly into the tank with the fish that you're feeding, and the Daphnia will run around and try to escape, and it's just really cool. My kids are gonna love watching it happen. But I tried initially to get the Daphnia, to find the Daphnia in a local pond here in the neighborhood, but it's middle of December and it's so cold that I found a few, but they were tiny, and it was just more trouble than it was worth. So ordering these was a good idea. It was $24 for about 500 of them, and the upside there is I don't have to worry about getting other types of things that I would have gotten from the neighborhood pond, like hydra and planaria and stuff that I don't want in the tank here. This is just a tank purely full of Daphnia. And I sort of randomly added a few other, plants for my planted aquariums downstairs. But those are just in there because I didn't like the aquarium just to be just water. I don't know. But anyway, we are going to, I'll post another video here in a week or two once they've had time to really get fully established, and we'll see what it looks like. But they are definitely happy. They're doing very well. I've heard you gotta be real careful. They They prefer low oxygen environments. So you'll notice that I have I have actually control I put on the air so that it doesn't bubble too much. You want just enough so that it moves the water around, so that the algae and other stuff gets stirred about, so it doesn't just sit on the bottom. But you don't want so much aeration that it will kill the Daphnia. You also have to be careful doing water changes. You know, they're just very sensitive to changes in water pH, water hardness. They don't seem to care much about temperature. That's the one thing. Like this, I don't have any kind of heat on this aquarium. It's house temperature, you know, probably 72 degrees. Temperature doesn't bother them much, but everything else does. And I hear what happens is you'll have a nice thriving population, and you'll screw something up, overfeed them, for instance. That's a pretty common thing. Give them too much food, the food rots. Ammonia levels, nitrite levels go up, and all the Daphnia die simultaneously. It's called a crash. You know, just a huge die-off of all your Daphnia. And so that probably sucks. I don't want that to happen. So I'm actually going to start a second colony in a smaller tank and have two going simultaneously. So if I screw one up and they all die off, I can repopulate from the other one. But pretty nerdy. I mean, if you're growing your own microorganisms to feed your freshwater tropical fish, that's pretty nerdy. But hey, it's fun, and I'm enjoying it so far. All right, I'll post another video in a couple of weeks once these have had time to fill the tank up.